One of the things that we're constantly asked because we do have 9 dogs is what is it like to be a large dog owner in Japan? Being honest, it's not that different than, say, like the US dog ownership, but there are certain challenges that have presented themselves that we've had to overcome. I think the only issue that I particularly have with having large dogs in Japan is the food situation. The brand of food that we used to use in America was called Origins, and to buy that type of food here is quite expensive. And I mean, like over $100 a bag. For obvious reasons, I cannot afford to be buying $100 bags every month. So we've opted to go to one of our hardware stores where they have a dog food section and they have a kibble that we're currently using. And of course, I'm not the biggest fan of kibble, but that's unfortunately what we have to do now. So my brother and I have been supplementing the kibble with fish and other raw products so that they have better supplements. And we've included things like moringa and turmeric powder, coconut oil, all of the things that kind of promote health benefits for the dogs. But I think as a large dog owner, that would be my biggest concern is the quality of food and accessibility. Another issue for large dogs is transportation. If you don't own your own car, then you may have to use a taxi, which may charge you more for having an animal. I believe there are some exceptions for smaller dogs, but you'd have to look into that because I have no education on that area. I do know for our Labradors, there's no way we can use the public transportation such as trains. They're too big and they just are not allowed. Transportation also domestically is quite difficult as far as like airlines go. So for us to take our dogs from Hokkaido to Honshu, we would have to take a ferry. As far as vaccinations goes, it's very affordable. Our vet is really good at what he does. He even does house calls because we have so many dogs. But per puppy per year, it costs us about $65 to get them fully vaccinated against rabies, bordetella, distemper, and all the other stuff that they need to be covered for. Another slight issue, but not too big one for me, is the accessories, I guess you would call them, for dogs, like crates, harnesses, collars. All of those things are quite difficult to find for larger dogs, but luckily Amazon does deliver here, so we haven't had too much of any issues with that. Kind of the last thing that I would like to point out to anybody who does have a large dog that is considering moving to Japan is before you move here, make sure the place that you're looking at allows dogs, and specifically allows large dogs. Because there are a lot of apartments and homes that will allow dogs, and I will say that in the advertisement, and they do mean that, but anytime you say your dog is larger than, say, like 50, 60 pounds, that's where they draw the line. So it's a very important aspect for you to keep in mind when moving to Japan. But for the most part, dog ownership in Japan, at least large dog ownership in Japan, is not that bad. It has its challenges, but it has its challenges everywhere. If you guys have any other questions regarding large dog ownership in Japan, please let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Okay, bye!